What's up, guys? John Cintos here, Cutternation podcast. Got my boy Josh over here, Josh Ruiz. Check him out on Instagram. We'll get going. First, don't forget to check out my website. You can get all my Cutternation gear, my hats, just like this guy. We got an awesome one, Strikeout Season, Long Toss Legend. Or you can get J-bands, flush bands, all the recovery stuff on my website. Today, I'm pretty excited though. We're going to do the Play Catch podcast number 2. We're going to have fun. We're going to work out a little bit. And you guys are going to see what we're going to do today. Okay? You want to say hi?
Hey, how you doing? Big fan of Cutternation, John. Jonathan, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
He
it.
tries to get on and turn on, but he's not very good at it. You'll see as we go. He'll relax. He's like the sloth of the group. Everybody knows that one guy in the bullpen that's like dark and sarcastic in the corner that chimes in whenever you're ready. That's this guy.
That's perfect. That's a perfect way of explaining me, dude. Thank you. You're welcome. You know me, dude.
That's good.
Happen.
Cool. So you're gonna do some bands. Hey, you're having a little bit of elbow issues, or what's the deal?
Yep. Right here, right in that gap.
In the medial epicondyle?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, cool. So let's get a little warm in. You know the deal. Josh, we used to work together a lot.
Oh yeah.
For how long do you think we worked together? 6 months?
Just over 6 months.
Just over 6 months or so?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, sir. Don't you call me sir?
Dude, yes, sir. In this building, I call you sir. I'm like, whew.
Josh is a big fan of the new building that we're at here at. Shout out to Andre, Pivotal Sports Performance. Love this place.
And if you guys haven't checked it out, please do come by. I'm in awe already.
So how's it been going? You're over at GBG, right?
Yes,
Garcia
sir.
Parra Group.
Yes, sir.
Coach over there. And Francis Parker, right?
Yes,
the high school job. That's awesome. Congratulations on the promo.
Appreciate that. Appreciate
That's
it.
awesome. I don't think I could do high school again.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that group, man.
I do like the older group, but just the process of all of the things that go along with it, there's too much extra stuff, not enough baseball.
Well, the head coach, I feel like that's what they're doing. They're doing so much administrative stuff. They don't even get to do as much coaching as they like to.
Yeah,
which is a bummer.
Yeah,
but that's why I'm glad I'm the pitching coach. I stay away from it.
Yeah, you're not the main guy. You're the guy that benefits from it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
When's the last time you threw?
I threw Sunday, man, and I had that big discomfort, and I was like, nope.
Again?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Here's a new one for you. I call it Wolverines, or an A-hold. I feel it on the back side of the shoulder really well, so it's just Wolverine. You know Wolverine, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, dude.
Oh, that feels good. That feels good.
So how's May Kelly going, dude? How do you like it over there?
It's fun. It's fun. It's easy. It's an easy drive. It's fun to get over there. There's a bunch of guys that I used to play with from over there, and fields are just like in Tijuana. Mound is bigger and a little bit better. So
So steep.
Get that momentum going.
Yep.
Get that booty going down the mound. You gotta get things
Just
moving.
drive.
Yeah.
Just drive.
Front foot sweep, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You want to work on that elbow just a little bit?
Yeah. Any
Okay, let's
trap
do
release
this.
would work.
Everything. Give me a little 90 here. We're going to go from the shoulder all the way down to the elbow. Do you like the flush bands?
You know what? Ever since you implemented it to me once, I've been a fan of it, but haven't done it since, man.
It's kind of new.
Well, because all the guys in our group were using it, man, and dude, everyone just felt better right after.
Straighten out. I can see your epicondyle super tight. I wonder if it's your shoulder or your back.
Is that Andre right there?
No, that's a offensive lineman that works out. He benches 600 pounds. Jeez. Yeah, Andre helped him get to Arizona. Andre's a good-looking dude. Short, stacked. He looks like what a strength and speed coach should look like.
Right.
Always wearing tights,
Yeah, we had a dude for our strength conditioning guy. He
all the way down.
He was for the Tigers.
Yeah.
Dude.
Go as far as you can
underneath.
underneath.
He was like the coolest dude at Penn. So.
Further. There it is.
But yeah.
So what he's doing here is we're doing blood flow restrictive training where he's getting the blood to stop here, and then the friction from the flush band is grinding out a lot of the stuff in there. What's up?
Let's throw a light in outside.
How's it going, man?
Okay, now open, close. Try to just move your arm. Go as far as you can on both sides. A little bit further that way. There you go. Okay, now straight out. Fist, big wrist circles.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna break all that up right there. Going down.
You good? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And here's everybody's favorite part. Feel good?
A little better.
Okay.
Better.
A little better? Yeah, it definitely went down. You can see it right in there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's work on that neck. Let's do a little trap release now.
Oh yeah, I love those videos you post. I always love seeing the responses, like the kids go, oh, like that sinking action as soon as you dig in, they're like,
Yeah,
don't
the
want it.
trap release is the most underrated one in there, for sure.
I'm down with those.
For sure. So he's elbows a little lit up, shoulder a little bit too, maybe right there. So we're gonna hit that nice. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is that it? That's the spot?
Yeah.
I remember that spot. Okay. All right. Shrug to your ears. High as you can. Good. Now I'm applying direct pressure down into the trap right on top of the nerve. Okay. Down and back. Oh shit. Pinch behind you. Harder. There you go. Ooh, she's running from me.
Yeah, I can feel your thumb moving around. I'm like, oh yeah.
I'm not trying.
No, I know, because it's just moving around pretty good.
Okay, all the way down, relax. It's up in your brain.
Pretty much.
Okay, reach. There you go. Okay, now reach above your head. Good. Okay, this is a new one you're probably not used to. So you're gonna go from above your head, past your hips with your arm long, in a long arcing motion. So you can just kind of go right, yeah. That's good.
Oh, it feels good when I do it that way. There
Yeah.
we go. Because moving around now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. How's it feel now?
That alleviate, it goes away like real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, as
What
long
about
as
in the middle of your back right here? What if I right there? Is that a? That's not too bad. So that's the main
that's normal
spot.
soreness.
So your neck is directly affected by your elbow.
Yeah, I need to do more trapping, but
Yeah.
for sure.
Exactly. Okay. Cool. All right. You ready to toss?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So go wrong. So go wrong foot forward on purpose to feel yourself not going anywhere, and just stay there.
You were just like digging there for. I was like, dude, you have it on, dude. You're digging there way.
My glove was like.
It would different if it's someone else's glove, but it's your glove. You're just like,
That was perfect.
you're like, how do I work this thing? I'm like, dude, put it on, and then
Put it on. Put your glove on. Bare head. I don't know. It was great. That's all part of it.
yeah, make dreams come true, man. You're just showing off your athleticism. Like, drop this glove, snag
That was
real
so
quick.
funny. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect.
That's how you start this.
And welcome to the times between me and Josh Ruiz. Does that feel better now?
A lot better, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. See, you're picking up me
Dude.
too. So yeah,
Huh?
just
No, I
show,
could
try
feel
to
it.
show your back. That's all you gotta do.
All right.
Just show your back each throw. Yeah. Same thing here now. There you go. Look like you're pain-free to me, bro.
I have no pain. I don't feel any discomfort either.
That's why I like throwing this 1 pound ball, because I feel like it's an easier way to make sure that my arm's loose through everything. Because if you do it wrong, you'll feel it and it won't go where you want to.
Well, I think that was my problem too. As soon as you said you're going forward, I'm like, I don't feel like it. But that's just part of me being out of sync and not
Exactly.
throwing all the
Yeah.
time. So now that I'm feeling it myself stay back, I feel like my hand just like flies through.
Exactly. So it just tells me you're throwing a little bit more with your face and your chest than your hand.
Yeah.
I think that's a common misconception, like stepping and throwing. Like we teach the kids to do that, but I don't think we have to. You know, if you look at quarterbacks in the NFL, they don't want to step and throw. They want to stay balanced, shift their weight, and not travel outside that hula hoop that they have, you know?
And they never have arm problems. You never hear about like a quarterback having.
There's a couple of them, but it's not really from throwing. It's more
From
like their
getting
hand
tackled.
gets hit
Yes.
from while they're throwing or
Yeah.
something, you know? I think Drew Brees, right?
But that's from getting tackled, bro. Like 300-pound guys landing on you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Try to do that little DeGrom right there. See if you can feel it. Don't go anywhere though. You don't, there's no race. So I'm going on my back foot, just trying to throw. I'm just trying to stand on my back foot and then put my foot down and then throw the ball. I'm not trying to, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm not trying to travel anywhere.
I see what you're saying. Absolutely.
And just show your back after each throw, Catch, bro.
I know.
Are we having fun, huh? Good.
Dude, what'd you think of the playoffs for the Dodgers?
I mean.
Okay, let me, more specifically, with Dave Roberts taking out Wood in game 5?
I think if.
He had 7 innings,
I'm
no
going to
runs.
say some sensitive things because weird situations, but in hindsight, it's easier. I've known Travis, or Mike, what's his name? Wood? Travis Wood?
Travis Wood, yeah.
Travis Wood. I've seen him with the Braves.
Was it Wood or Hill that was thrown?
Well, Hill had the issue first, right? He was the one where there was a miscommunication between Dave Roberts misinterpreted what he said.
That's the one I'm referring to then.
Yeah,
Going with Hill.
So I'm a guy that doesn't like to know any information, like pitch count. I don't even care what inning it is. I'm just trying, my sole focus is as hard as I can until I get tired, try to strike out everybody. I think I told you about that championship game that I threw down in TJ where I threw 13 innings, but I didn't even know what inning it was. I mean, you hear the stories all the time about guys that don't remember what they're doing because they're so locked into everything, So I just think, I don't know. I mean, Dave Roberts is the manager. It's your job. You can't, I know you're dealing with grown men, but that's your job is to make calls. And at that level, I don't feel like guys get offended if they take you out. If they do, they're allowed. Like, let them go do their thing. Talk to them later, But in that situation, I haven't seen him ride a starter once. And it's like he thinks that he has to use his bullpen instead of just ride the game out and see what happens.
But I feel like that's the way the game is going.
Yeah.
Like they're just trying to get to the bullpen as quickly as they can.
Yeah.
Like, star doesn't have it, we don't have it, next guy.
Yeah.
And then they go through the line and see who has it, and then they might get extended. Relievers will get extended more than a starter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that works. You can see it works to get you there, but the teams that have the most depth in those situations, or when I say depth, the most effective guys, those are the ones that are the successful ones. So we go with Travis Wood, like you're saying. I watched that guy pitch with the Braves forever. As a starter, great, right? As a pen guy that needs to come out and get a lefty out and be dominant, his best pitch is his changeup. His curveball's not that good, or slider. So it's going to be hard for him to get a lefty out in the situation. He would be more effective against a righty. And I don't feel like in the big leagues, I understand why they do righty, righty, lefty, lefty, right? But there's got to be something said about dudes who just don't get hit no matter what. Like, who cares lefty or righty? Like, when I was an import down in Mexico, they didn't put me in because righty or lefty. They put me in because it was runner on second, no outs, and this guy can't score. So eventually you got to go with domination factor and domination situations that you don't necessarily see all the time.
Or you go hot hand.
Yeah, exactly. That's
so
pretty
like
much what we're saying.
Yeah, so that's what you're saying is like, don't even go with the matchups, man. Just who's my hot hand? Who's my guy who I'm gonna give the ball to, and he's gonna have that confidence to shut him down. Yeah, I mean, if you look at what the Astros did, and starter reliever, they didn't care, and the whole team was humble enough to be like, yo, if I'm the closer, but they're gonna put in Verlander, who cares? We just need to win, And you see that I see that more and more on these teams that are winning, in these playoff situations. But then I thought the Dodgers were going to go there, but they never did. I mean, they threw Kershaw that once, but is Kershaw your best starter? I feel like Walker Buehler was your best starter, and in that situation, I don't know, how it's just there's so many different ways to manage ball games that. You ride Kershaw when I don't think you should have rode him. He gives up 4 jacks in the game, right? Now, granted, they're all solos, but eventually you got to make a move or do something. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be some kind of anything to do it. But what are you doing? I don't know. It's just, I feel like that entire situation, let it go up. Do you feel it? I feel like in that entire situation, it's difficult to process what you're trying to do with both teams, like, does that make sense? I don't know, I'm a big behind. No, I know what you're saying. I just want, like, it's just so frustrating to see, like, people critique a guy who got him under the microscope and says, oh, this is how you're doing, this is how you're running your ship. It's like, well, dude, think about how far he's been. Think about where he's at.
Yeah.
He's the last 2 teams, and then you're gonna like try to eat his lunch for it.
Yeah, I mean, he did everything he thought he should do. I don't, because people look at the manager like he really does something, and I don't think they look at, like, I think a manager in baseball to a head coach in football or a head coach in basketball are completely different things. Because I feel like in football and basketball, you can send in a play almost every time, right? But in baseball, it's such an sport that you can't tell this guy what to do and then him do it, because that's going to be too late. You just hope that everybody understands the philosophy of what you're trying to do and tries to play the game the most aggressively and successful way to do it.
I agree.
It just, these days, for one manager to figure it out. You don't have a Joe Torre anymore that's going to go out and just boom, 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 boom. I think Houston's getting with it, but really, I think more than anything, I think Houston's players are better than most guys, you know? If you look at all the awards that they've been getting over the past couple of years, they just got guys that just want to win every ball game they can, and so do the Red Sox. So I think great job of the Red Sox for going after, you know, they decided we're going to go after. I don't care what position it is. I want the best dudes at each position. I don't care how much money they make. I care about production, passion, having fun, and doing stuff, you know. And they talked about Alex Cora, and then what's the manager at Houston?
Hinge.
Huh?
Hinge?
Yeah, Hinge. So Cora came from Hinge, and the only thing with Hinge in Houston was how much it felt like 04 when they were going after the World Series with the Red Sox, and how much fun it was, and how you didn't really, you went after the game, but nobody got their feelings hurt when they had suggestions or anything. And you just see that all the time. You see that where guys they're not willing to accept criticism to a point. Like if someone came to me and was like, yo, your cutter's not cutting, or it's not doing something, I wouldn't be like, oh, how dare you? I'd be like, well, can you show me? Can I see some video? What do you see? Like what information? Because I don't think that we accept information correctly. I mean, you see it all the time. Get mad because there's a kid doing a pull down or throwing a bullpen or whatever, and people got things to do, and instead of trying to figure out where they're coming from and what they're trying to do, most people when they comment really, even though it seems like a negative connotation, it's still trying to come from a good place. Or maybe that's just me trying to have faith in humanity. I don't know.
It just seems like there's not one system on how to get work done.
Yeah.
Like, it's individuals, man. It's going to be a different system for each individual. So I don't think there's one way hitting, there's one way fielding a ball. You know, I think there's definitely an outline.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think there's different ways to maximize it out of different players.
I get asked about people all the time, like, what's your philosophy, what's your program? And it's really like, I don't really have a philosophy. It's more about, like, you throw the ball how you throw the ball. Like, you throw how you throw, I throw how I throw. But I just know there's a couple things that I've seen that I do that help. So it's not like I'm trying to change your mechanics or change what you're trying to do or who you are. I'm just trying to, okay, let's see what works for you. If that works, then just do it again. Does that work and it doesn't hurt? You know, I'm fortunate enough to have a video of me throwing where I'm down in Panama and I hit 96. I have that video. So my entire throwing philosophy is based on, okay, when you move this fast, you do this and do that, you throw 96. So why not do that every time? Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. When did you start figuring out that it was time to change and to focus on your program and what works for you? Because I understand you were a guy that was just kind of like, you would listen to coaches, you understand you and get you better. But at some point, you got to realize it doesn't work for me. I'm going to try to pick apart everything I've learned over time and then just make a system that works for me. How old were you when that happened?
For me, it was really when I was trying to, everything was trial and error. The amount of information that is where it is these days, as far as like, when I was rehabbing and trying to figure it all out, the amount of slow motion video and stuff that's out there and how Facebook and all social media worked wasn't as much as it is now. So I think slow motion videos just started popping up on YouTube, and that's really where I started like looking at some of these guys in a different way, where instead of watching them on TV where I'm tracking the ball, now I see a side angle where I'm really watching the length of everything they're doing and start going like, okay, this guy is doing this, but then you start going through more throwers and more pitchers and you start realizing, well, they all kind of throw different, they do different things, right? So does it matter how they do it? Yes, but no, because it only matters to them. So like if you throw 92 and I throw 95, maybe you can pick something up on me that I'm doing differently than you, but really you're trying to implement it yourself. So it really, me throwing the ball 95 doesn't affect you throwing 92. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just really, everything that I went into in the throwing, I started doing more research and then just threw. And then everything that I did, I really went on, okay, I was taught this, but I see guys do this. This didn't work. This got me hurt. This was what guys considered bad. The velo, the pitches, the location, everything that I thought I was doing right in college was wrong according to the information that was being presented to me as right. And the only way I can say that effectively is because, I broke my arm and then what happened after that, So whenever I got to that point to where I could start over from zero because I had to, it was just like, okay, you hear all this stuff about long toss, you hear about strength, you hear about running, and then I just started thinking logically about it and be like, okay, when I was in school, I threw for this amount of time, we would break to shag BP, and then I would go back and throw a bullpen in the middle of BP, and then I just remember sitting back out in the outfield after running my poles, and my arm throbbing from throw, sit, and then maybe try to make a 120-foot throw to the bucket from left center and be like, oh God, this is, you know what I mean? Like just try to get it there.
I never even thought about it that way, dude. And it makes total sense because your body will heat up after throwing for a consistent amount of time. Then you sit and you're relaxing in the outfield, talking about whatever. And then all of a sudden you get a ball to you, and what's the first thing you do? You want to hum it.
Yeah, well, and I feel even worse for you because you went to a school for a cold state. I was
Iowa.
At least in Florida where it still got a little cold, but it was still got up to 85, 90, 95 was humid. Crap,
Well, luckily we had an indoor facility there at our school. So most of our training, most of our bullpens came from indoor facilities and, heated. But no, when we had our game days, man, first college game was 30 degrees, 17-degree wind chill in Kansas.
Yeah, that's just not baseball.
Oh, man.
Baseball's supposed to be a summer game. That's one thing I noticed in college. It just seems like everything got earlier and earlier and earlier. When you go to high school and then when you get to college, and it just seems like the winter months are just like, what are we doing? There's a reason why baseball starts in April for Major League Ball, but in high school, college, everybody else start in January or early February. And you're like, what are you doing? Like, there's snow in most of the country, and we're trying to play ball right now. What are we doing?
From Southern California and then going to Iowa, it was the hardest thing, man. My blood was just warm all the time. I was always warmed up. Then going from that to 0 degrees some days.
Yeah.
But that's actually when I started training the most. Where it was 0 degrees outside, and I would get one of our pitchers. I'm like, hey man, let's go play catch outside. Let's get used to it.
Yeah.
So I'd be in the fall doing 2 or 3 times a week where I'm just out there just blowing my hands, make sure my hands warm. I warm up real good, same way I'd warm up before a game, and then just go as long as I can. So I'd throw for about 30 minutes and then get back in there and then do all my arm care indoors.
Yeah. So do you think that you learned how to keep yourself, your own self, you became more conscious of keeping yourself warm throughout the practice or the day to try to keep yourself feeling better?
Oh, 100%. But it was also more about mental toughness too. It was like, hey man, you got to block this. You got to block that cold out.
Yeah.
Your thing is just focus on getting guys out.
So it was a mental thing.
It was a mental game, 100%.
Yeah.
You don't even think about the cold. You're like, your main job is hey man, I need to get this guy out.
Yeah.
I need to make sure I'm strong. So if I mentally got out there and played catch in that cold weather all the time, when I got in the game, I had adrenaline going. Just playing catch with cold, no adrenaline, nothing on the line. Then when I got there in the game and a batter steps in the box, blood just starts going.
Yeah,
you start getting in the zone, and you're like, you don't even feel that cold after a little bit, But those long innings, oh, you feel it. You feel it.
You're a cold-blooded killer, though. You know, like you got that mental assassination mindset that I think these days, the way that these kids are raised, like I understand the participation thing with a lot of people of what they're trying to do, but if you're trying to breed an athlete or someone who wants to have a chance to, like, because I don't think playing baseball itself is fun. I think dominating, striking dudes out, that's fun, right? Like if I were to hit, I'm going to have a little bit of fun here. I would say on a fun meter, if I were playing and I wasn't pitching, I would be a 3 to 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I was pitching, I'm going to be a 7. Now, if I'm pitching really good, I'm going to be a 10.
100%.
Right? It's going to be and pitching good to me isn't necessarily striking guys out. It's more, can I throw the ball where I want to? Can I make the ball spin to execute the things in my head for the pitch to go where I want to execute it against that guy? That's the fun part. I don't even factor the batter in. Like sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm facing Josh Ruiz in the box and Josh cheats first and second pitch, so I got to just be aware of that, you know. But most of the time I'm like, all right, how hard can I throw that to right there? Like how nasty of a pitch can I have each time that I throw it?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than challenging a guy on a pitch and you get it by him or you get that whatever breaking ball past him. And inside, you're just like talking the most crap. You're just like, you were saying horrible things about this batter.
Yeah,
but on the outside, you're just like,
oh yeah,
whatever, it's all right. But you know how you're feeling inside, just cocky, swaggy, and just abundance of it.
I got that's good that you said that. I got a good video of me throwing when I was down in Mochi's, and I think I strike out 2-3 guys in a row. I strike them out on good pitches. The walk from them back to the dugout, like the camera pans in the video and you can see them, they're just shaking their head, like looking down like, man, like he got me. You know, like some of those guys that I've pitched against really validate a lot of the theories and the things that I'm trying to do because those were affiliated or big league guys. And I'm like, all right, well, if I can hang with these, if I have these guys confused for a full season in a 6-team league or an 8-team league, I got to be doing something, right? You know, you face, especially as an import, you face the same guys over and over and over, and you just got to get creative on how to get them out. I mean, I remember facing one dude and giving up like 10 home runs foul in a row, all on the same pitch, all cutters inside. And he just kept launching balls. And so much to the point where you just giggle right there. He hit one again, and I knew he was an American guy, and I kind of walked a little bit further and caught it. I'm like, hey, one of us got to figure this out. You know, and he starts laughing. He's like, well, just keep throwing that pitch. I'm like, here it is. I even told him it was coming. Threw it again. He hit another one foul. You know, and eventually everybody's kind of giggling because, like, you know, those are such rare moments in baseball that they turn into a fun situation, you know?
So how many pitches did you go in that at bat?
What?
How many pitches was that at bat?
I think 13 or 14.
Oh, isn't that rough? Don't you at one point just go, dude, get out? Get out or get on.
I even tried to spike one. I tried to spike one 0-2.
Yeah.
And it bounced and he cricketed it foul.
Did he really?
Yeah.
What a jerk.
Yeah.
What a jerk. Oh man.
And then I went fastball high. I did everything that I could to try to get it, and just, I mean, sometimes dudes are just there. Sometimes dudes are straight wiffle ball and they're gonna swing no matter what.
Yeah.
Like they're just, I'm swinging. This is what I'm doing, you know. And I think it's up to us as pitchers to use that to our advantage as much as you can. If I can get a team in swing mode, it's going to be so much more fun.
Well, isn't it funny, like when you go on the road, you know, playing in Mexico, how loud those chants can get and how the environment can kind of get loud and it can get in your ear. But it's nothing better than dominating in their ballpark and the crowd just getting quiet.
Yeah.
You don't hear any smack talk anymore. You don't hear your name. You just hear, you kind of look up in the crowd after, you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because in Japan, they had these drums, man. They had these horns. They had whatever it was, man. And they try to get at you about it.
I love it down there, man.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, I love going to Major League Baseball games, but sometimes you go to a Padres game and you're like, bro, like, can you turn the accordion off and maybe play a little bit more modern music, maybe get the crowd going a little bit? Like, it just seems like we're catering to the family environment so much in certain places. It's no wonder why nobody wants to go to the game.
So we got to turn like pretty much a baseball game to a nightclub.
Yeah.
We got to hear like music in between every single pitch.
I don't even think you have to go full nightclub atmosphere. I understand what you're saying. Just fun though. Just fun.
Nightclubs are fun to me.
Yeah, nightclubs are fun. Right.
No, I know what you're saying though. I just want a more upbeat environment where like when we went to the TJ game for the Toros, dude, That was such a good time.
What do you look at? You don't know every 5 seconds there's something different to look at.
I mean, everyone's just having a good time. The music's so loud, you got to scream at the person next to you. I mean, I'm sorry. Kids were having a good time. Remember we saw little kids, 3, 4 years old at these games? They were having a good time.
It's just a weird thing. I don't think San Diego does it right. I mean, how many ballparks you been to in America?
I've been to, not that many. I haven't even been to Angel Stadium. Never been to an Angels game. So San Diego, Dodgers, Boston.
You been to Boston?
Yeah, Fenway.
That's sick.
So, no, my buddy Hanyo Canedo. You know Canedo?
Yeah.
Yeah, so his little brother, Chris's little brother, he goes to all the stadiums, dude. This year, he went to Baltimore, Seattle, he went to Cleveland, yeah, I said it. He went there.
I've been to Cleveland.
Have you really?
I've been to Cleveland.
I heard the environment there is awesome.
Well, it was like a May game, and it was Chris Sale versus Kluber.
Oh.
And like I watched like 25, and like I was having a blast, but dad and son next to me who both brought their glove to the ballpark, sitting behind the first base dugout, like you're gonna get a ball. I don't understand what you're doing. Every ball that got popped up, he was the get out of here ball guy, trying to teach his son to yell get out of here. And I was this close to having a full-on educational process. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just go to your work. What are you your mid keyboard, your mid whatever thing you're working on. I'm just gonna go in there like type faster, type it even faster. You know, like I don't understand the heckle part. Like what do you think you're participating? Like are you helping? Or I don't understand you're not helping. Just enjoy the game. You know, like there's nothing that you're gonna do to distract these guys. They're that focused that you think that you're going to do something.
Or if you do get these guys, you better be a pro heckler.
Oh, yeah.
You better be a pro, and you better be on them for like 4 solid innings. I think the best one, have you heard, what's the best heckle you ever heard? I remember my first one, I'll go mine. It was Billingsley.
Gringo Sucks to me was pretty good when I was in Culiacan.
What's that, Gringo Sucks?
The whole stadium chanting.
Oh, dude.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like 50,000, 60,000 chanting Gringo Sucks. I was like, that's cool. This is cool.
The one I remember is Billingsley. You remember Billingsley, that pitcher? And
Chad
so he was in the
Billingsley?
bullpen.
Yeah.
And we're in San Diego in the right field, right where the visitors' bullpen is. And this guy is just heckling this guy so bad, John. So bad, just going, Billingsley, you look like a truck driver. Like just roping him. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. And you could just see Billingsley just like throwing, just like not even phased, not even just like paying any mind to this guy. Like, bro, not worried about you. About to go dominate right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Billingsley got raked, so didn't work.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the whole point. You're supposed to, he's at least making it creative, you know, and I mean, this guy, out of the 25 strikeouts, there might have been, in that game, 10 to 12 pop-ups in the infield.
10 to 12?
And this guy, every time, hopping up with his son, get out of here, ball. I'm like, bro, you obviously, like you're the same guy that wants your kid to play T-ball 3 years in a row so he can make the All-Star team. That's the same person.
He's that guy. Oh, yeah.
He's that guy. Like All-Star teams and plastic trophies actually mean anything.
But it's so common, like people that don't understand baseball, they go, oh, baseball's so boring. And I'm like, don't worry about it, man. It's a smart person's sport.
Yeah.
It's a very, very much a smart person's game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can attack that too, because if we didn't have David Ortiz taking 45 seconds between each pitch, we might have a little bit quicker of a game.
One guy changed the game, huh?
Oh, dude, like I know guys have their pre-pitch, routine and everything they're trying to do, but seriously, like, get in the box. Let's go. I can't stand it when dudes come out, take 30 seconds in between, and like they're trying to be on their own time because they're trying to calm their heart rate and center their mind and do all their stuff. But like you're just delaying. It's just bad for the game. You know?
So in college, who did you follow? What pitchers did you like, not emulate, but also look towards for mechanics or?
Well, I think emulate's a good word, but I mean, even the video possibilities of now for where they were, I thought I was throwing, or like when I was throwing my best, the summer before I got hurt, before my coach changed my arm path, I was trying to be Josh Beckett. I was trying to have a nice long arm, loose arm on the backside, go as fast as I can, have a good stride and do everything. And then when I get to school, and at that time I didn't even know it. I was throwing 93, 95 in the summer, but I had no idea. I was long tossing all the time, but we didn't have radar guns or video or the things that are capable now, so you don't even know. And when you ask somebody, especially people that aren't really on your team in summer ball, they don't want to help you. They just want, yeah, it looks good. You know, like even the pitching coach that I had, he was big-time Division I pitching coach, and I would ask him things, and he would just be like, well, you throw the ball where you want to, just do that. You know, but in reality, I think if he would have sold a little more, like, dude, I think you're throwing kind of hard and you're doing well. Keep doing that. Don't let anybody – there was nobody that was like, well, you kind of rely on yourself and everything works when you do that. Just keep doing that. You know, that was never explained to me that, like, I throw the ball and I should be doing what feels good to me, not, like, throw and then, like, what probably you see and I see all the time where you see kids throw, look in the dugout to see if they did it right.
Yeah.
You know, like –
I think that's probably the worst thing, like – and it's just the kids feeling like they need the approval of the coaches, maybe their parents. You see them looking in the stands at their parents. It's like, dude, this is for you, man.
Yeah.
Go out there and have fun. Like, don't look at us. Don't worry about it. Like, and I think that's what sometimes I've seen Little League coaches, travel ball coaches, me being their travel ball coach. I see the other coaches just screaming down the line.
Yeah.
And I kind of remind them, like, hey, man, we all want to win this game just as much as everyone else.
Yeah.
But is that the way you want to emulate being a coach?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's
no. You can easily talk to a person, talk to a player. Like, I don't need to like make him feel degraded about it. Like, come on, man.
Well, I don't think we talk to kids right. We talk down to them, and that's why, like, you know, you've heard me say this before, but I tell guys they can't call me coach, right? Because I don't want them seeing me as an authoritarian figure. I want them to see me as, hey, man, I'm just a ball player who's just played more than you.
Yes.
This is just my experience. Call me John. Don't call me coach.
I'm the same way.
John.
100%. Kids go, what's up, coach? I'm like, what's up, player?
Yeah.
And he's like, why do you call me player?
Is that?
What I'm saying is, I don't know your name.
Yeah.
So I'm saying coach because I don't know your name.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to give you that same respect, it's like, what's up, player? Like,
yeah.
Dude, I don't know your name either.
Yeah.
And then they go, well, my name is this. And I'm like, will you call me by my name? I'll call you by yours.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it teaches the kid, right?
It's a different kind of respect thing, you know?
Right. And it's not even talking down. It's just explaining to the kid, hey, this is how it works.
Yeah.
You know, you call me this, I call you that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, I think it goes back to where you and I of baseball practices, because for some reason that we think that if you practice for an hour and a half with 12 to 15 kids 4 times a week, you're going to get so much better. But if you're not counting your reps, or if you're not really getting down and doing what you need to do, there's no way you can get the amount of reps that you need in an hour and a half practice with 12 to 15 guys.
And I think sometimes, like, charting and individualizing practices for certain groups of kids. So you could even take 2 or 3 kids and kind of have the focus on them, where you kind of put them aside and you have a regular functioning practice, and you pull these kids and say, these guys all have the same problem, not driving the ball opposite field.
Yeah.
Or, you know, hey, man, you're not getting to the ball quick enough. Your first step isn't good. So we're going to work on ground balls, where it's almost like training.
Yeah.
So it's a training atmosphere and a practice environment.
Yeah, well, you're working on skills. Now you can, I mean, if you just do the math on it, if you go from 12 to 4, you've tripled the amount of just on rotations, you know, and like the more quality reps that you can get on stuff, the easier it is for you to be good at that and develop the skills of it. You know, like it cracks me up when I see kids, like if I see a weak ground ball in a Little League game, but I see a kid that is trying to field it instead of just catch the ball. Like if you take the glove off the kid and we play wall ball with a tennis ball, what's going to happen? Like the kid's going to catch it and he's going to throw it.
And he runs at it too. He doesn't even like way back. He goes towards it. He's like, I'm going to get this ball.
Exactly.
But they lose it. You're right. It doesn't become a game because they're so afraid of making a mistake by their coaches and the environment, the pressure.
Yeah, you see like, oh, use your right technique. Look at your fielding. But all the guys that I know that played, like I played with a guy that was with the Yankees that was behind Jeter and Nunez. He's the best shortstop I've ever seen in person that I played with. Guy was amazing. Used an 11-inch glove on purpose, and then his training glove was like a 6 or 7. And so he had the smallest little glove made for him, and he would make me stand behind him at shortstop and be like, hey, John, do this. Hold this stopwatch. If I don't field it from the time he hits it and throw it to first for 4 seconds, then I got to do 15 push-ups. Okay? So I would just stand behind him, and then I'd watch the most amazing shortstop of my life, and he would tell the guy hitting fung goes, hit it hard, try to get it by me. And even balls that he couldn't reach that were up the middle or in the hole, he'd stop and do push-ups. I'm like, bro, you had no chance. He's like, that's not the point. The point is I didn't get it. It's white or black. It's either I got it, I made the play, or I didn't make the play. It's out or safe. That's all it is. There's no such thing as a tie. There's no such thing as anything. Right? It's all, my entire goal is to catch the ball and throw it as quickly as I can to get the guy out. And your job is to go, yes or no. okay, cool, I can do that. And he was always in the right spot, and I never saw the guy make a bad throw. It was crazy. In like 3 seasons that the most amazing display of fielding that I've ever seen.
But I think more than his fielding, the more amazing thing I think just from hearing the story is his discipline.
Yeah.
Of just, like we said, no, it doesn't matter. Like, that's just a standard that he set for himself. So that standard became an excellence, you know?
Yeah.
And it just, like, developed who he is. I guarantee if he stopped playing baseball and you put him out to go do something, he's going to try to be excellent at that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's what we're trying to teach in this game. Like, dude,
exactly.
be excellent at everything you do. If you're trying to just be a part of the team, that's good.
Yeah.
But, hey, man, try to be the leader of that pack as much as you can.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I totally agree. Well, I mean, that's just in the levels and the information that you and I have been to, it's, you know, I think that's why you and I are, like, I'm in business, I definitely say I'm in business, but that's the fight that I'm trying to fight with that, because even with some of the high school kids that I'm getting now, I'm like, could you imagine at 9 years old if I told you this and you had, or even 8, like I had an 8-year-old, and I was telling him, think about this. This is hard to wrap around your head because you're only 8, and you've really only been training to play baseball the right way for under a year, but you've been playing it by yourself for 2 to 3, right? You have 10 years of training before you finish high school, before you have to really make a decision about something. So if you can maximize these 10 years and train for 10 years, it's a lot of time. You should be really good at pitching, at throwing, and be strong, if that's what your goal is, right? But sometimes you see it with kids and sometimes you don't. And I think a lot of people think that, like, that's hard to put on an 8-year-old in a situation, but you can't tell me an 8-year-old you want to be a Major League Baseball player and not go all in on it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think that just goes back to discipline, though, too.
What's that?
That word discipline just keeps popping up in my head. It's just like, that really does define a player. You know, I remember that jump I had made when I went from Southwestern to William Penn, and as soon as I changed my discipline and my standard of what I needed to do, like, where it was a standard that I had to wake up at 5:30 to get to the gym before anyone else.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a standard that I had set for myself, and then it just changed and elevated my game significantly. Weird, right?
Yeah.
Weird. You work really hard and you get good results.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I think we had success with our guys this summer, because they bought into what they were doing with our, like, guidance in the situation. You know, like, we talked to some of the guys and they were very vocal about what they liked and didn't like, and I enjoyed that feedback from them. They're like, well, I liked this, but I didn't like this didn't feel good. It didn't feel like I was getting a lot out. Cool. Let's change it to another exercise or another drill. You know, like, I'm not going to get my feelings hurt because you actually had an opinion, you know, instead of, I mean, how many times in your life did you have a coach, well, just do it because, or just, you know, shut up and do it.
Too
just
many,
go over
man.
here and do that.
And that's the sad part. There's too many of those I can name. You know, was there a coach that really impacted you, John? Like, was the first coach that impacted you?
Probably my pitching coach in junior college that I still talk to.
Shout him out. Who is he?
His name's Doug Martin. He's at Northwest Florida State.
Doug Martin, you did good for John, man.
You know what's funny about Doug? Doug Martin. I love that guy, man. And I try to send him guys as much as I can. But the biggest thing that I think he taught me more than anything, not even program-wise, was like how to not be a high school pitcher. You know what I mean? How to just be a dude and do your thing and not worry about what other people say. Like, it was so much to the point when I first got there, it was the last year of draft and follow, I was a 2-week walk-on. 2 weeks before the fall semester in August. I come play at your school. That's how, like, I didn't get recruited, I didn't get anything. And he gave me a chance. So and he saw me throw in a random game. Like, he happened to be there scouting another kid that was a junior. And then here's little old me, throw 6 innings, strike out 9 guys, going 2-seam changeup. And, you know, he took a chance, brought me on, made sure that I knew what my options were. Like, look, you're the 25th pitcher to come try to make the team where a roster limit for pitchers is 12. So you're going to have to beat out 13 other guys. And I saw it as a challenge, and I was like, well, the worst that happens is I get redshirted or something, you know? Like, I can at least go learn how to do it. And that first semester into college was tremendous in a humbling way, where it's like, oh, you don't know anything. You know nothing. You've never done a 7-day-a-week program. You've only done a 3 or 4. You know, like you thought you were working hard, but you weren't. There was no situation to what it was. Okay, so little flat groundage. You gonna throw a little bit more, or the elbow?
Throw a little bit. No, going all right.
All right, go for it.
What?
Gonna hit the target?
Try.
That's nice, Coach. That's nice.
Feeling it, man.
That's nice. Sorry. So we were talking about just a second ago. We had interrupted, but no big deal. We were talking about a second ago. We were talking about like challenging yourself and like training and like getting hit and like being able to like learn from your mistakes, right? Like and go from there. And so like when we're teaching all these guys to throw and like what they're trying to do and play catch or do whatever is what are you trying to do with your pitchers to try to get them to be successful?
Throw every pitch for a strike. Every single pitch for a strike, any count, any time.
So you're just trying to throw as many strikes as you can?
No. I'm saying be able to throw the ball where you want to in any pitch. Not necessarily throwing a strike. I want to perceive the ball as strike as long as we can and then end out. Because if we're constantly in the zone the whole time, we're gonna get beat around the yard, no matter what. Because then even if you change speeds, if you're always in the zone, now they're just looking for movement and then driving the ball that way.
Yeah, like I think the strike percentage thing is like a weird stat because you're trying to validate throwing strikes, but everybody that I've ever played with, it's not necessarily we're trying to throw strikes. We're trying to execute an idea, like you said, like throw to a spot. Like when I feel good and I know I can get guys that are throwing and they're trying to throw, like try to swing. I'm sorry, when they're trying to swing, you do everything? Yeah, for sure. No problem. But anyway, what I'm trying to do is not throw strikes.
You know what's funny? You're the first person I've ever heard tell me that.
Yeah, I'm literally not trying to throw strikes. I'm trying to have guys chase my pitch. I'm trying to establish that when you come in the game or when you're facing me, I'm going to be throwing hard. I'm going to make it move, and you don't know where it's going to go.
Just perceive it to look like a strike.
Yeah, I want to be able to throw things. I want to be able to throw 3 different versions of pitches: strike to strike, ball to strike, strike to ball. If I can execute all 3 of those ideas when I need to, or ball to ball even, like those 4 ideas really are the basis of pitching. Because I mean, you even hear hitters, like they don't even say get a good strike to hit. They say get a good pitch to hit. And I mean, everybody's one pitch. I mean, if you're Vlad Guerrero, you're hitting balls off the ground.
Yeah.
You know, or what's the guy for the guy that was with the Orioles for a while and he loved the ball above his head.
Oh, Miguel Tejada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miggy.
Dude,
all
swings
Miggy. You know what I mean? Like, guys, I don't think we're teaching like or embracing what you like to do. Like, I love to throw all my pitches, not just my cutter, right? And guys there's certain pitches that guys like to swing at, and they will always swing at that pitch, even though someone else is going to tell them no. But they know if they get it and they're on time with it, then it's going to go out. But you got some guy telling them, hey, don't do that. And I just think it's weird that if so many people saying don't, for what I hear from kids, from what they're doing, and for the coaching information that they're getting. So, do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. They just think that's like, don't do this, don't do that. And it's like, well, why don't you tell them what to do?
Yeah.
Like I said,
they take everything
the don't
literally.
mentality.
Yeah, like you even said it a second ago about, like we were just talking about, like you're trying to throw everything for a strike, but when you talk to the kids about it, like, and then you tell them like what we talk about, it's like, I don't even care that it's a strike. I care if you're trying to execute an idea, you know, like even like this little target right here, the little spray paint square that I got there, that's only 6 inches. It's intentionally smaller than what you're used to, right? So like, you don't even realize that strike zone's so much smaller than what you're used to, so it's easier for you to go out and throw strikes when you need to. You know, so by not explaining everything that you're doing to some of these kids, you can actually make them better, because I don't feel like they need to know. Like, I don't think everybody needs to know why that when your front foot goes out like this and then you land like that, like then you're thinking about too much. You're not trying to throw the ball where you want to, you know?
Yeah, some kids need the explanation, but not a lot of them.
Yeah, I think maybe an older guy, maybe even a pro guy or something, but in the meantime, you're trying to win the kid over with whatever he's trying to do. You know?
Positive reinforcement too.
Yeah,
not to like say good job after everything, but it's also like, man, come on, dude.
or understand the why or the how. I think we tell them exactly what to do too much instead of letting them try to figure out how they are doing it and then them explain it to us. I think
so almost like creating independent thinkers.
Yeah, well, I don't want you relying on me to whether you did it right or wrong. I want you to go on feel, location, and then use the radar gun, which we normally have set up here, so you can be like, when I do this, it goes up or it goes down. Mm-hmm. When I do this, if I'm executing a different pitch, you know, it goes down, but I also got more movement. Oh, okay, so that's a cool way to kind of like figure out exactly what your pitches are doing, instead of where most of the time, like what I was doing, like I can't see a lot of the movement on my pitches. Can you?
No, I was noticing that too. It's like when you are throwing good pitches and sometimes they're swinging and missing, like, dude, how'd they miss that?
Yeah.
You know, but in like when you see the replay or you see like video of it, you see it from the side, you're like, oh my God,
yeah, that was a good pitch.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
exactly.
Executed good.
Yeah, I can't. Like when I throw my curveball and a slider, I don't, out of the hand, I got nothing. But like the point to which my eyes pick it up is normally right when the guy's starting his swing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I can be like, then it's just an easy, did I hit my spot according to how the guy hit it? If the guy crushed it, obviously I hung it, you know?
Did you know it's the first time in MLB history that there's 2 Cy Young Award winners with a sub-2 ERA?
No.
First time in MLB history, dude.
Wow, I mean,
can we acknowledge the pitching gods for that?
Bro, I mean, everybody's talking about hitting, but
yeah,
there were the most strikeouts, but also the most home runs. I think that just goes into the way the game should be played and the way we are playing it, where we're trying to play like the backyard. Like, I loved the World Series because there were líneas everywhere. Yes. Even though there were outs. Mm-hmm. Like, look at the last play of Benintendi. That ball that Yelich crushed in the NLCS that almost hit Puig. That was a rocket. Was it like 122 miles an hour at like 18 degrees or something like that?
Dude.
But I love all that StatCast stuff too, because it just validates everything that we hear. Like, you can only say bat speed so many times, and you can only say, you know, like, line drives or anything until people start changing the language to make more sense. But I think it just goes back to this old school way of we play the game, that people think that it's got to be played a certain way. But when you go to other countries, they play it more fun. They do it better. Like, no wonder why there's not as many American dudes in the big leagues. They're not playing the game the way that people are getting paid to play the game. Like, it's an easy follow the money situation.
Or do you ever think about, too, that where's the Dominican Republic in the League World Series?
I never really thought about that, but they probably couldn't afford it to get over. I mean, whole thing's a racket anyway.
No, you know what it is, right? They don't have Little League. They train.
Oh, for sure.
So my roommate in Japan, that dude was telling me, he's like, yeah, bro, we don't even have Little League. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do you guys do? He's, dude, we barely go to school. Like, you know what I mean? We go to school, do our thing, but at the end, like, dude, we just train. And then when you get to a certain age, there's people around you that'll go, hey, man, we'll ride you out. So, like, they pretty much train these guys. They make sure they got their lifting in. They take, you need cleats, you need glove. They start buying them all stuff. Basically, these guys are agents for kids that are 13 years old. So if they throw like 85, 13, they just develop these guys, bring these guys along, dude. Crazy.
Oh, it makes sense. I mean, it's a different, I mean, that's what the academies in Mexico and the Dominican Republic.
Japan's
Cuba,
the same way.
Venezuela, that's all they're doing. They're just training kids better. You know, I mean, when you learn about what these other countries are doing and how they do it to get there, but we're not doing it as a whole there. That's why I train my guys the way I do here, is because I'm doing what I saw those other guys do, even though when I was growing up, now before I started really doing it this way, was more like, I don't know if I should be training guys this way. But then you go down there and you see all these dudes, just like that 16-year-old from Cuba that throws 100. Did you see the video of him throwing 98 on a flat ground? Kid looks like a bite-size kid, and nice smooth leg lift, comes down, then just hit 98 spot, and it's like, okay. And he's got weak tennis shoes on, brutal glove, and a Major League Baseball that obviously came from some random place. But, you just hear these stories about Venezuela and the DR, and all these kids where the academies of 8, 10, 15-year-olds are right next to major league organizations. So they're just watching what these big leaguers are doing every day. So, of course, they're just going to mimic and emulate it. But you come over here, and you go to a travel organization, you have zero You have zero sense of what really is going on because you're only practicing with the kids around you and seeing what they're doing.
But also it's the environment too. So think about when these kids leave, like in Dominican Republic, Venezuela, or wherever, Cuba, they're out there practicing playing. When they go home, what do you think they're going to do? Think they're going to jump on Fortnite? They're going to play PS4? No, they're going to go back outside. They're going to go run around.
Yeah.
They're going to pick up a stick. They're going to like just throw a rock around and just see if they can hit it.
Yeah.
They're going to develop so much more eye-hand coordination, endurance, than any other thing.
Skills.
And genetically,
skills,
genetically, that's going to build, man.
Yeah.
That builds. If you don't think genetics play a part, that's ridiculous.
For sure.
It's
well,
ridiculous.
I think it does to a point, but
genetics and then environment.
Exactly, environment.
So
I think the environment
yes.
is tremendous, especially with, like, you see the videos of there's so the same kid that threw 98 in Cuba. There's a video of him in what looks like a backyard in the jungle, and there's trees, but there's a little lane. That's it. And the kid lifts his leg, and then.
Oh, I did see that one.
You see that
I did
one?
see that one.
That's
like the little
kid.
mound
That's
is like
the same kid.
It's basically a rock on top of a hill, and he just throws 90.
Exactly.
Just hums it.
It's
dude.
99.
I didn't see the radar gun on this kid.
You can barely see it, but it's 99 on
I just saw the guy behind him in the guess, and he says whatever, and I'm like, dude, that dude just came up, just boom.
Yeah.
Effortless too.
Yeah.
Effortless.
Exactly. Well, but is it effortless, or is it a great sequencing of timing and mechanics that he's figured out?
Effortless.
I don't ever. I think effortless is a bad word. Because that makes it seem like you're not trying to throw hard. And everybody I have never seen anybody over 95 that doesn't look like they're trying to throw hard.
Let's just say he makes it look easier than the average Joe.
Yeah, I'll take that.
It's not so much effortless where he's avoiding like putting in the effort. Like it's not.
I'll go
bad.
one step further. I feel like he knows what he's doing. I can put that stamp on that.
He figured it out.
He figured it out.
Yeah.
Figured it out. He knows what he's doing. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I was so glad when DeGrom won, dude. When DeGrom won the Cy Young, I was ready I was right by the computer. I was like, he doesn't win.
Did you happen to see someone put a video out of him, like, showing the year before and this year? What he did
differently? Side by side?
No, yeah, his motion.
Like, no. I
saw
saw it, but I don't remember what they were talking about.
So he was a swing up guy. And then he was throwing slower. And then now he was staying on top of the ball.
So he's throwing slower like 96?
Yeah.
Yeah,
what a
sissy.
I don't think the control, I think it's more about the control of both, though.
Yeah.
Like did you ever see that guy not locked in?
No, he did really well, though. They did from last year, this year, I noticed was he elevated the fastball a lot.
For sure.
A lot. He was going 2 strike counts, and a lot of times before he would go, like he would try to paint that low and outside corner 97. Now he elevates it, and he'll follow it up. He'll just hit the top part of the zone, and he just goes.
I think he's doing something different. So what do you think about this? I think that each throw per pitch almost needs a separate mental process. Because I feel like when he's throwing the ball down, he's doing something mentally different with his arm when he's throwing it up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's not trying to throw to a spot. He's trying to make the ball spin. Because how he throws that almost rising fastball and you see guys underneath it all day, you just don't see that normally every day. It looks like one of those blitz balls that you see those kids throw where he gets through it. He's getting so much spin on it that it looks like it's rising.
Yeah, well, the one that I was liking is he would even throw like just above the belly button, and guys are swinging through that. That just shows how your ball kind of just does this on.
It's almost deceptive.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, especially when he throws the 97 at the knees, it looks like he's throwing it at the ground, and then it just hovers and it stays right there.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I was so glad. That's the point. And then Snell, dude, I was so happy.
Yeah.
That dude dealt. That dude dealt, bro.
All year.
What a dude. What a dude.
Why wouldn't you? Though, you know, like.
And then Ohtani got Rookie of the Year, right?
Yeah, Ohtani got Rookie of the Year.
That was clutch.
I think Torres got robbed. Did you see his numbers?
No, he did, for sure.
Torres played all year, too. Ohtani didn't.
Yeah, he was in and out.
It was obviously an old school guy that I thought it was a marketing move. That's what it looks like. Ohtani's a dude that draws attention, so if he wins Rookie of the Year, it's better for baseball. That's what they think.
Publicity, traffic.
Yeah. Instead of letting the game dictate.
Yeah.
You know, like Torres was huge for the Yankees. But he was sitting behind all the faces. Giancarlo, Stanton, you know, Judge, all of them. You're sitting, you know,
and he was sitting at the head of the table with them, man.
Yeah.
He was just like, "What's up, guys?"
Yeah.
No big thing.
I don't like when executives make decisions for people. It doesn't seem like that story never looks like it works out.
Well, isn't it crazy too? Like the same things that you're talking about is in the UFC. The people that like do the judges, they're not even like mixed martial artists.
Yeah.
And it's like same thing for boxing. They're not even like people who have the like understanding of it. So when you see fighters get robbed, it's like, well, no shit. You got a bunch of people that
I think
don't
that's
know.
why Bellator is going to take over, because they're trying to do things right, where it's like they actually have judges that have experience that used to fight or do whatever, and they're even getting analysts that do the same thing.
And that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Like you have to know that, like, been in it, you know?
Yeah,
and I think there should be more executive people for the NFL, because all these things have going on with concussions and like the environment of the game and how they treat players, because they're discarding guys left and right, man.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, how's your brain damage? All right, man, get out of here. We'll see you later, you know?
It's aggressive, you know?
I mean, it's true. It's 100% true.
It is aggressive. It's hard to watch sometimes the more you get into watching football, you're like the phrase car wreck really makes sense when you're seeing. I mean, dudes are getting and it's not even the ones that scare me aren't the pro ones. It's that high school highlight reel or the college highlight reel where someone gets crackback blocked, and then that guy was in a car wreck basically, and you could probably point to that point in that guy's life where his life will change forever.
Right.
Where now he's more aggressive, like that they see. You see, maybe he goes into a state of depression. You know, his face is all over social media because he got decleated and flipped upside his head, and it got viewed 100 million times. And he's like, now 100 million people now know that I got rocked. Like I didn't do my job.
Right.
I didn't keep my head on a swivel, you know?
Well, my roommate, he was an ex-middle linebacker or outside linebacker in college, and he talks about it all the time. He's like, dude, there'll be times where I just blank out, I space out. I can't tell you about it. Like it's just my mind just goes completely blank.
It scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, and he's like, no, I for sure got brain damage. Like not the highest level. Like I'm still functioning, everything's going fine, but it's not the same.
God, it's scary.
And it's like, would you put your kid in football?
No.
I mean, I'd be like, dude. I would explain to him the risks. I would show him everything along the process of what it is you're putting your body through. Definitely. If that's something you want to do. Same thing with boxing, UFC. It's like, all right, man, this is the damage you're putting your body through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if my parents let me play football a little bit, not till I got to high school, but my dad made me learn the hard way. You know what? I could sling it.
He just tackled you?
No, it was worse, bro. Oh, I don't think I've ever told you this story. My first practice in freshman football, after slinging it all over PE and having a great time, post, fade, drag, just calling plays and just trying to be an athlete and have fun. Then they tricked me into going playing football, and they're like, all right, you're going to be our passing guy. Like, you have a pretty good arm, you understand it, you need to figure out how to throw with pads on, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool, sounds good. Then I go in, I learn about the offense. We run the wing T option.
Oh, so you're a running quarterback?
Yeah. So our center fielder on the baseball team is the quarterback. And he's like, all right, yeah, just here's how we run our offense. And I'm watching it, and I suddenly realize we're running the Army offense. You don't pass. So my first play, I'm running scout team against another team who runs the veer also. My first play, I get it, read the end, guy crashes, I pull it, right, goes after it, take one step, linebacker comes around the edge like he's supposed to, wearing the red jersey, one step, pitch it, do my job, stop. Linebacker, typical dude, probably a bully, who knows, lights me up. But last second, I flinch and go like that, helmet right to the throwing wrist, blows me up, the whole practice goes crazy, everybody goes nuts. I'm the only one mad because what's the point of the red jersey? And then my coaches get mad at me like, oh, you got to be a man, like it's your first practice, you should do this. And I'm like, well, if that were the case, why'd I even wear the jersey? Like, you told me I put the jersey on, nobody's supposed to hit me. And they're like, oh, well, you didn't know the rules. As soon as you run, you're considered a running back, you can be hit. I'm like, but we're on the same team. It's practice, right? I mean, you and I were talking about it, and I'll say some aggressive things. I think that the mindset of what's going on in the South and how things are going over there, me living there and then coming over here, it's completely wrong. Like, it just bothers the crap out of me. We're not raising these kids the right way to be nice humans, to like take care of your situations. We're raising them to buy 15 iPhones and throw them away and buy another one, like, and not understand the value of life for $1.
So like when Nike endorsed Colin Kaepernick and all these people are burning Nikes, it's like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You could have given that to somebody less fortunate and you're going to go burn them?
Exactly.
Like, dude,
100%.
you're an idiot. And it's like, dude, you should have burned your Nikes when you found out kids in Indonesia are doing 15 cents per hour to build your shoes. Mm-hmm. Like, so, dude, if you're talking about equality, start more. You know what I mean? Okay, if you support something But no, child abuse and child labor laws, nah, we're good.
Yeah,
it's like, come on, man.
Just out of
come
sight,
on,
out
bro.
of mind. That's all it is. It's out of sight, out of mind. It makes it an easy thing for someone to be like, you know, well, it is what it is, or whatever they're going to say, you know? How's your arm feel?
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Too bad.
I mean, a lot better than it did this morning.
Well, you know,
100%.
sometimes you just got to get in and make yourself feel good, you know?
Always, man. Always. That.
It's nothing better than just throwing the baseball where you want to.
Oh, yeah. Especially on a given day. But
Yeah,
can we agree that basketball is horrible? Because it just gets in the way of baseball season.
Is that what you're dealing with right now?
That's what I'm dealing with, man. People are like, are you going to catch the game tonight? I'm like, who's playing? And they're like,
is winter ball? Is there winter ball somewhere?
Yeah, Golden State. I'm like, oh yeah, I could care less about that. I'm sorry.
You mean modified 5-on-5 or modified 1-on-1?
I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. Basketball just gets in the way of my baseball season because as soon as ESPN turns on, like right before even preseason games are a priority over playoffs.
I don't even watch ESPN anymore. They don't even give me good baseball highlights. They give me 15 seconds.
And that's the sad part, dude. Is
15 seconds and then make a wish and then Tim McGraw is going to sing for me or something and then now I got nothing.
Tim McGraw. Why does that sound?
Isn't he the one that sings the My Wish song?
Is that the country singer?
Yeah.
Tim McGraw?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like I'm not a country guy, not a huge one.
Me neither.
But you know it.